My beloved child, I call you right now because the window before you is closing faster than you realize, and the urgency pressing into your heart is not an accident, but my deliberate stirring, because I see the danger of hesitation that you cannot see. This very moment is not ordinary. It is a divine appointment where heaven itself bends close to you, and the whisper you feel deep within your spirit is my urgent cry that time is shorter than you think, that opportunities once dismissed do not always return, and that the door that has been opened wide through my mercy is beginning to draw it inward as night falls, and the longer you stand undecided, the narrower it becomes until the final sliver of light vanishes and no pleading will swing it open again. For I cannot let you play with eternity as if it were a casual decision to be placed on a shelf for later, because later is a thief that steals destinies. Later is the lie that has destroyed millions of souls. Later is the excuse that has left hearts unprepared when the sudden hour of reckoning arrived like lightning without warning, and I do not want you to be counted among them. So I send my voice into your soul tonight to awaken you from delay, to shake you free from the chains of postponement, to make you realize that this hour is sacred. This hour is burning with my love. This hour is dripping with my mercy. And yet this hour is trembling with urgency because once it slips past you cannot retrieve it. And I know you feel the weight of my words pressing harder than your breath, because I have surrounded you in this moment so that you cannot escape the truth that you must act. You must choose. You must step forward while I extend my hand, because the enemy will whisper that you can wait, that you have tomorrow, that you can come when you feel ready. But I shout louder than is deceit to tell you the truth. Tomorrow may never dawn for you. Tomorrow may close with silence. Tomorrow may betray you, and your soul must not gamble on another sunrise when eternity hangs in the balance right now. So listen, my child. This is your window. This is your last chance to embrace what I have been trying to give you. And the reason your heart is racing is because your spirit knows I am telling you the truth, and love refuses to stand quiet while you teeter on the edge of loss. So hear me. I am reaching for you. I am crying out to you. I am urging you with the fire of heaven itself, because you cannot afford to let this pass by unnoticed. Open now. Respond now. Surrender now, because this is not just another day. This is the day your eternity is waiting for you to decide. Do not wait for a better time, my child, for the lie of a better moment is the snare that has stolen countless lives who thought they had more space, more days, more chances to turn, yet their tomorrow never came, and their delay became the very chain that locked them outside of the promise I had prepared. And I speak this to you with the weight of heaven itself pressing against your heart so that you will not fall into the same trap, because what you think you are postponing safely is actually slipping through your grasp like sand. Every second that passes is a grain falling into eternity, and once it has dropped you cannot pull it back, and this is why I tell you that the deception of waiting is deadly, because waiting feeds apathy, and apathy births regret, and regret cannot undo what hesitation has destroyed, and so I thunder this truth into you. The voice that tells you to delay is not your friend. It is the adversary clothed in convenience, the serpent dressed in comfort, and if you heed him you will awaken too late to find the door barred, the chance gone, and the moment turned into judgment. But I, your Lord, do not want that ending for you, which is why my words come tonight with fire, with trembling urgency, with the sound of a trumpet shaking your soul awake, because today, not later, not tomorrow, not someday, today is the hour of salvation. Today is the hour of response. Today is the hour when the eternal meets the temporary and demands your yes. And if you wait for tomorrow, you are gambling with something far greater than breath. You are wagering with eternity, and eternity does not play games. Eternity does not bend to excuses. Eternity does not offer a second rehearsal. It is final. It is absolute. It is forever. And I love you too much to let you drift toward that cliff blindfolded. So I rip away the veil and tell you plainly, your delay will destroy you if you let it. Your hesitation will rob you if you feed it. Your excuses will betray you if you trust them, because the enemy has only one desire, to keep you occupied until the window slams shut. And if you allow him to lull you into comfort, you will wake up too late, and all the cries of "I thought I had more time" will not reopen the opportunity you ignored. But look at me, child. I am here now, and I am telling you this because there is still a moment left to grasp. There is still a door slightly open. There is still an offer extended. but the hand you see stretched toward you will not remain extended forever. And I cannot emphasize this enough. This urgency you feel now is the last invitation heaven will release before silence takes its place. So cling to it, seize it, embrace it, because this is not merely a warning, this is love refusing to abandon you. This is mercy refusing to let you perish without being shaken awake. This is my heart refusing to let you slip into eternity unprepared. So hear me. Do not wait. Do not stall. Do not plan to return later. For later is too late, and the hour is now. The call is now. The choice is now. Your soul's rescue is now. I have stretched my hands toward you again and again. Yet each time you hesitated, each time you turned to distractions, and still my arms remain open, waiting, pleading, reaching, because my love has no limit. But hear this now. The moment has come when hesitation can no longer be entertained. For the patience that has held back judgment is not endless, and what stands before you is the final extension of my mercy, the very last opportunity that eternity will place in front of you. And the reason you sense such intensity in these words is because heaven itself is leaning over the edge, urging you not to miss what is now your final invitation. For every second that passes hardens hearts, and I will not let yours grow stone cold without fighting for you. And that is why I repeat with urgency that this is not just another call. This is not like yesterday's whisper or last week's nudge. This is the ultimate cry, the last reaching hand, the closing door still cracked open before it locks forever. And I need you to grasp the seriousness of this moment, because I have lifted you through storms, carried you when you stumbled, preserved you when you should have fallen, and every act of my hand has led you to this crossroad where the last decision stands waiting. And if you think you can treat this casually, let me expose the lie. You are standing on the knife edge of eternity. One step determines destiny. One response determines forever. And no turning back will be possible once this night passes into history. For there is a line in time that once crossed cannot be uncrossed. A point of no return where opportunity becomes memory and memory becomes regret. And I do not want you to reach that place, which is why my voice is heavier than ever, trembling in your spirit, breaking through your thoughts, refusing to let you dismiss what I am saying, because I love you too fiercely to let you drift into destruction unaware. But I cannot hold my hand out forever if you will not take it. I cannot extend what you refuse to grasp. And though I desire none to perish, I will not override the choice of your heart. So tonight is not about chance, it is about decision. Tonight is not about feelings, it is about surrender. Tonight is not about postponing, it is about yielding. And if you think you can wait for another season, you must understand there will not be another. For this is the final opening given to you, the last cry before silence, the ultimate chance before doors close. And I tell you plainly that if you continue to delay, what is now invitation will become judgment. What is now mercy will turn to sorrow. What is now an open embrace will become an eternal separation. And still my arms are outstretched one more time, but not without urgency, not without trembling, not without fire. For this is the hour where you must decide, and every angel surrounding you is urging you to move. Every stirring in your chest is my spirit confirming this moment cannot be wasted. So hear me, child. Take hold while you can. Answer while you still have breath. Respond before silence falls, because I cannot hold this open any longer, and tomorrow is too late. The voice within you stirring that uneasy restlessness is not confusion. It is not random thought. It is my spirit awakening the depths of your being, pulling you away from complacency and shaking you with the truth that comfort will destroy you if you cling to it, because what you feel in this moment, that burning tug, the tightening in your chest, that inability to dismiss these words, is the holy confirmation that I am pressing upon your heart a choice that cannot be delayed. And the reason you cannot quiet that inner stirring is because it is not coming from your own mind. It is coming from eternity itself. And I will not let you rest until you face what you have been avoiding, because I love you enough to disturb your peace in order to save your soul. And I will break through your routines. I will disrupt your distractions. I will unsettle the false security you have leaned on, because your life is too valuable to me to let you sleep while danger advances. And you may wonder why this urgency feels heavier tonight than ever before. It is because this is the final alarm, the last trumpet within your spirit before silence descends. And though you may have pushed aside conviction in the past, though you may have ignored the quiet whispers before. Tonight I have amplified my voice inside you until it shakes your very core, and you cannot mistake it, you cannot excuse it, you cannot drown it, for my spirit will not allow you to rest comfortably while eternity waits for your answer. And that agitation you feel, that struggle between yielding and resisting, is the evidence that the battle for your destiny is raging right now, and heaven and hell are both watching how you respond. And while the adversary tries to lull you into postponement with soothing lies, I am piercing through his deception by igniting fire in your soul that refuses to let you be at ease until you choose, because this restlessness is not punishment, it is mercy. It is proof that I have not abandoned you. It is proof that your heart is still tender enough to hear me, but that tenderness will not remain if you keep hardening yourself against my call, and that is why I warn you now that ignoring this stirring will eventually silence it forever. For the more you resist, the weaker your ability to respond becomes, and I do not want you to reach the place where my voice is no longer heard, where conviction no longer stirs, where restlessness no longer grips you, because at that point the door will have closed, the spirit will have withdrawn, and opportunity will have passed. And so I speak urgently. Respond while you still feel me drawing, answer while you still sense my spirit moving, surrender while you still have the capacity to say yes, because the uneasiness within you is not there to torment you, it is there to rescue you, to snap you awake, to jolt you from complacency. And you must act now before that restlessness fades and leaves you in deadly calm, the calm of a soul untouched, unawakened, unprepared. And I cannot allow that to happen without one more desperate cry. Do not silence the stirring you feel tonight, for it is the last warning, the final mercy, the urgent knock on the door of your heart. And ignoring it will cost more than you can afford, but answering it will open life, hope, and eternity into your hands this very moment. Many before you have ignored my cries until their final breath slipped away and the last chance was gone, and their voices now echo through eternity with regret that cannot be erased, for they thought they had more hours, more seasons, more space to choose, but their indecision chained them to a fate they never expected, and I am speaking to you so that you will not join them in that place of unending sorrow, because my desire is not that you perish but that you live, and this is why I stand in front of you tonight drawing a line in the sand, saying clearly that I do not want you to make the same mistake that countless others made, those who thought conviction would always return, those who believed the stirring of my spirit would wait for them, those who assumed the door of grace would stay open indefinitely. But when their final hour came, they found silence where there had once been pleading, they found darkness where there had once been light, they found separation where there had once been mercy, and I cannot bear to see you follow that same tragic path, and that is why my words are heavy with urgency, because the pattern of history shows that men and women delay until delay becomes destruction. But you, my beloved, are still standing in the moment of possibility, and the very reason I press this upon you now is because I want you to escape the ruin that has swallowed others. And if you could hear the cries of those who wasted their moment, if you could listen to their endless laments, you would understand why I plead with you so strongly. For they would tell you not to waste another heartbeat, not to postpone another decision, not to believe the lie that there will always be more time, because they now know the truth. More time does not always come, more opportunities do not always appear, more chances do not always exist. And I, your Lord, am determined to prevent you from learning the truth too late. So I have positioned you here in this exact moment to hear these words, to feel this urgency, to know beyond doubt that this is heaven's final invitation to you. And I will not let you walk away unaware. I will not let you leave without realizing the eternal weight of what is before you, because love will not let you perish in ignorance. Love will not let you drift silently into destruction. Love will not let you repeat the mistake of those who ignored me until it was too late. And yet love also demands your response. For I cannot save those who will not turn. I cannot rescue those who will not yield. I cannot deliver those who cling to delay. So this is the turning point where everything changes. This is the dividing line where you must decide whether you will be like those who refused until they were lost, or whether you will be the one who heeds the call, responds while it is still today, and enters into the life I purchased for you. And I tell you now with fire, do not be counted among the ones who waited too long. Do not be numbered with those whose delay destroyed them. Do not join the crowd of regret that wails forever. For I have chosen you to hear this now so that you may live, so that you may escape, so that you may walk in freedom while there is still a door open. But that door is closing fast, and once it shuts, no begging will open it, no crying will unlock it, no pleading will move it, and you must not wait another moment, for your eternity hangs in the balance now. The adversary is whispering into your ear that you can wait, that there will always be another opening, that you can enjoy what you want now and return to me later. But I tell you with absolute truth that his voice is poison dressed as comfort, his promise is a snare disguised as freedom, and his goal is singular, to keep you still long enough for the moment to slip away, to convince you that tomorrow is safe when tomorrow is already vanishing, to lull you with false assurance so that when the final chance disappears you will realize too late that you were deceived. And I reveal this now because I do not want you to be fooled, for the enemy knows his time is short, and he is desperate to drag with him as many souls as he can, and he works not with chains of iron but with chains of delay, not with outright denial but with gentle persuasion that says not now, maybe later, and countless lives have been lost because they listened, they believed, they thought they had more time, and the very one who assured them of tomorrow laughed as their opportunity closed forever. But I, your Savior, will not leave you vulnerable to that scheme. So I am stripping away the mask from his lie so that you see it for what it is, death wrapped in convenience, destruction hidden in postponement, loss disguised as ease, and if you allow that whisper to guide you, you will find yourself walking willingly into your own ruin. But hear me, child, you do not have to yield to that deception, for I am speaking louder, stronger, clearer than his voice, cutting through the haze he tries to cast over your mind, awakening you to the reality that now is the only moment that belongs to you, now is the only breath you can guarantee, now is the only chance you truly possess, and I plead with you to seize it before it evaporates, because the adversary will continue to promise later until later never arrives. But I tell you this with urgency. This is the moment. This is the crossroad. This is the hour of decision, and no enemy, no distraction, no excuse can steal it from you if you rise up now and say yes to me. And I assure you that when you choose me, his whispers will lose their power, his hold will be broken, his schemes will collapse. But until you step forward, his voice will keep weaving illusions around you, illusions that feel soft, but are suffocating, illusions that feel safe, but are killing you, and I cannot bear to watch you be entangled in them, which is why I am pressing so firmly, urging so strongly, calling so relentlessly, because I love you too much to let you slip quietly into his snare. So I cry out to you tonight with holy urgency. Do not listen to that voice any longer. Do not believe his promise of tomorrow. Do not yield to his deception, for he offers nothing but ruin. But I am offering you life. I am offering you freedom. I am offering you peace. But only if you choose now, only if you reject his lie and embrace my truth, only if you silence his whisper by answering my call without another heartbeat of hesitation. For I tell you plainly, tomorrow will be too late. You are standing right now on the edge of a line that, once stepped over, cannot be retraced, and I must open your eyes to see the seriousness of this boundary, for it is not merely a choice between options. It is the threshold between eternal light and endless darkness, the line where destinies are sealed, the point where no reversal exists. And though your mind may tell you that you can turn back whenever you wish, I declare to you with clarity that there comes a moment when the choice becomes final, when the path you decide upon cannot be undone, when the step you take fixes your direction forever. And you are standing at that very place now, poised between life and death, blessing and curse, hope and despair. And I cannot allow you to treat it casually, because this line is not like any you have faced before. This is the boundary where my mercy, extended for so long, waits for your decision, and if you cross away from me, you cannot walk back as though nothing happened, for the door will close and the chance will vanish, and I know how weighty that sounds. But it is truth that I speak, because only truth can awaken you from the haze that surrounds your mind. And if you could see with your own eyes the multitudes who once stood where you are now, who toyed with delay, who believed they could return whenever they pleased, you would tremble at how many discovered that the moment passed and could not be regained. For once the door sealed, their cries echoed with no answer, their steps could not be retraced, Their chance could not be restored, and I do not want you to stand among them, which is why I shout louder into your soul tonight. This line is before you. This moment is holy. This decision is final, and you must choose with the full weight of eternity in your hands. Because every second you stand undecided, you lean closer toward losing everything, and I will not sugarcoat this. Hesitation here is destruction. Apathy here is ruin. Delay here is death, for this is the final line, and once it is crossed there is no returning. But my love is so fierce, my desire for you so deep, that I speak with urgency and passion so that you will not miss what is before you, so that you will not waste the very last opening of grace, so that you will not step blindly over the edge into regret that cannot be undone. And I know you feel the trembling inside, the burning that tells you this is no ordinary hour, that this is not something you can shrug off, and that is my spirit testifying to you that eternity is pressing close, that heaven is pulling at your soul, that I am standing with arms extended urging you not to let this slip away, because once you move past this without choosing, no amount of tears will reopen the gate. No amount of pleading will shift the finality. No amount of wishing will change what was lost. And I tell you with holy fire that this is your line, your moment, your final chance. Step toward me now while the door is still open, for tomorrow it will not be. The cry of heaven is louder than the clamor of this world, though the distractions around you fight to drown it out. Yet within your spirit you know the difference, for the world's noise pulls you toward emptiness, while my voice calls you into life, and this contrast is what you feel pressing so heavily right now, because the temporary sounds of pleasure, ambition, and comfort cannot silence the eternal pull of truth that is ringing in your heart. And I need you to understand that the call you are hearing is not imagination. It is not fleeting thought. It is the sound of eternity breaking through the veil of the present moment, reaching into your very core, shaking you so you cannot dismiss it. And this call carries weight because your destiny is tied to your response. And though many voices are shouting for your attention, none of them carry the urgency of this one. For this is the call that determines forever. And the reason you sense it cutting deeper than anything else is because it is coming from the throne of heaven itself, and the angels witness it with anticipation, and all of creation leans in to see if you will answer, because this is not a whisper to be brushed aside. It is the trumpet blast of eternity calling you into decision. And I assure you that no music of this earth, no promises of gain, no applause of people can ever compare to the gravity of this voice you now hear. And yet the world will keep clamoring, offering distractions, offering lies, offering false comfort to keep you deaf. But I am raising my voice above them all, so that even as the noise of culture screams, you hear me clearer, stronger, more undeniable, and I will not let you mistake it, for this is not the voice of guilt, it is not the voice of fear, it is the voice of love that refuses to let you perish, and I am declaring to you with urgency that ignoring this call will silence it forever, but answering it will open what you have longed for yet never found in the world's noise. And I know you feel the struggle, the pull between what is eternal and what is temporary, between what is lasting and what is fading, between what gives life and what steals it. And that tension is proof that you are at the crossroads, that heaven itself is contending for your heart. And I am telling you plainly that no one else can answer for you. No one else can decide in your place. No one else can silence the competing voices. It must be you, here, now, in this moment. And if you choose to turn away, the world will gladly welcome you with more noise, more distractions, more false promises, but you will discover that they leave you emptier than before, because what you are hearing now is the only voice that can fill you, the only voice that can rescue you, the only voice that can save. And if you turn your back on it, you will search in vain for peace and never find it, for peace only rests in obedience, in surrender, in answering the call. And so I lift my cry above the noise again. Do not ignore me. Do not pretend you cannot hear. Do not drown this out with more distractions, for this is the call of heaven itself reaching into your soul, and once ignored it will not be repeated, for the moment of invitation will pass, the call will cease, and the silence that follows will be unbearable. But you do not have to walk into that silence. Answer me now, while the cry still echoes in your heart, for it is the voice of love, the voice of rescue, the voice of life, and tomorrow it will be gone. The treasures I have set aside for you, the blessings your heart has longed for, the answers you have prayed for in secret tears, are waiting just beyond this threshold, prepared and ready to be placed in your hands. But they cannot be unlocked without your surrender, for hesitation is the barrier keeping you outside the gates, and if you delay, those gates will swing closed before you ever step through, and what was meant for you will pass into eternity unrealized. And I do not want you to lose what I designed for your life, for I have woven promises with your name written upon them, miracles tied to your obedience, victories bound to your yes. But they will not remain waiting forever, because hesitation corrodes opportunity, hesitation erodes destiny, hesitation suffocates blessing, and every moment you linger on the edge instead of stepping forward pushes the gates closer to ceiling, and once they are shut, you will look back with aching regret at what could have been yours if only you had yielded when I called. And I am warning you because I love you too deeply to let you miss what was always meant to be your portion. And the urgency you feel now is not only about avoiding loss, it is about embracing abundance. For I am not simply saving you from destruction. I am longing to bring you into fullness, into peace, into joy that the world could never give. But this path opens only with decision, and indecision will rob you faster than outright refusal, because indecision is still rejection dressed in softer colors, and I cannot let you believe the lie that standing still is safe. For standing still at this moment is the same as turning away, and while the enemy would gladly let you believe that waiting does no harm, I tell you plainly that waiting will shut the gates before your eyes, and then the blessings you longed for will no longer be within reach, and I do not want you to face that agony. So I speak with passion to shake you awake, to break the chains of hesitation, to tear down the prison of indecision, because your yes tonight will unlock doors you could never open on your own. Your yes tonight will release what has been withheld. Your yes tonight will open the gates wide before they close forever. And child, I am holding those blessings in my hands now, ready to release them. But they will not be poured out if you turn away. And I say this not to frighten you, but to awaken you to the urgency of this holy moment, because I have not created you for emptiness. I have not destined you for regret. I have not formed you for loss, but for life, for abundance, for glory. Yet none of it will reach you if you cling to hesitation. For hesitation is the thief at your door, and I am pleading with you to cast it aside and step forward, because only then will you see the gates swing open, only then will you taste the fullness, only then will you walk in what I promised, and if you delay, those gates will not remain open, and the opportunity will vanish like vapor, never to return. And so I say again with holy urgency, do not let hesitation steal from you what I have prepared. Do not let delay close the gates before you enter. Do not let indecision rob you of everything I long to give. For tonight the gates stand before you, open but trembling on their hinges, and they will not wait for tomorrow. I have watched you wrestle silently in the hidden places of your heart, torn between surrender and resistance, longing for change yet holding back as though you feared what it might cost. And I tell you now that every sleepless night, every quiet tear, every inward battle has been seen by me, and I have not turned my face away from your struggle, but tonight that wrestling must come to an end. For this is the hour to step decisively, not tomorrow, not after more questions, not when circumstances shift, but right now, because your hesitation has become a heavy weight pressing on your soul, and I am offering you release if you will finally let go of the conflict and step into my arms. For I have stood by while you tried to carry burdens too heavy, while you fought wars you could not win alone, and while you attempted to fill emptiness with things that only left you thirstier. And I have waited patiently, but now patience is giving way to urgency, because the moment for decision has arrived and cannot be delayed. And though I have allowed space for you to wrestle, that space is closing rapidly, for your battle cannot continue without consequence, and the choice you make tonight will determine whether the struggle ends in peace or whether it hardens into chains you cannot break. And I do not want you bound. I do not want you broken. I do not want you crushed by endless striving, which is why I cry out that this hour is the hour to step forward, to lay aside the fear, to cast down the excuses, to silence the doubts, and to finally yield to the love that has been pursuing you through every season of your life, because I will not let your wrestling define your eternity if you answer me now. But if you continue wavering, the very hesitation you think is harmless will consume you, draining your strength, stealing your hope, and leaving you empty. and I cannot bear to watch that end unfold when freedom is being offered so clearly before you. And so I call with authority into your spirit. Stop fighting against me and step with me. Stop circling the decision and embrace it. Stop postponing what your heart already knows to be true, for deep inside you recognize that I am the only way, the only truth, the only life, and you will never find rest until you finally surrender. And child, I have not come to condemn you, but to rescue you, not to shame you, but to lift you, not to take from you, but to give you everything that truly matters. But it requires your step, and that step must be now, for if you walk away again, the weight of the battle will grow unbearable, the conflict will crush you, and the chance to end it will vanish, and I will not lie to you. There is no neutral ground left. There is no safe delay. There is no middle road to walk. This is the hour of decision, and I urge you with all of heaven's strength, take the step tonight, for it is the last chance you will be given. My heart cannot wait endlessly while you wander from path to path, for love, true love, cannot remain silent when danger looms so near. And I tell you this with the weight of eternity pressing behind my words. I have been patient. I have extended mercy. I have called in whispers and in storms. I have spoken through silence and through fire, but love does not permit endless postponement. Love demands an answer. Love requires a response, and love cannot be treated as a casual option, for my sacrifice was not casual. It was complete. It was poured out with blood, with pain, with every breath on the cross given for you. And now that same love demands the fullness of your heart, not a portion, not a fragment, not the leftovers of your time and attention, but the total surrender of everything you are. And though I have allowed you space until now, that space is closing, because the seriousness of this moment is unlike any you have faced before. And if you think you can wander forever, I must shatter that illusion with truth. The road of wandering does not stretch endlessly. It leads to a cliff where there is no return, and I cannot allow you to keep drifting toward that edge, which is why my words tonight are filled with urgency. Because if you continue wandering, you will reach a point where turning back is no longer possible, and I will not see you fall into that abyss without one last desperate cry. So I call you now to stop drifting and to give me everything, not half, not almost, not someday, but now, fully, completely, without reservation, for anything less than surrender is still rejection, and anything less than obedience is still disobedience, and I cannot accept what is partial when I gave you all of myself. And the reason you feel the piercing of my words tonight is because my spirit is cutting through every excuse, every justification, every false comfort you have leaned on, and showing you that nothing less than total surrender will suffice. And though you may fear what surrender will cost, I promise you that what you give up is nothing compared to what I will pour into your life. For surrender does not rob you. It rescues you. It does not strip you. It crowns you. It does not enslave you. It frees you. And if you hesitate, you will lose everything while thinking you are protecting something. But if you yield, you will gain everything though it feels like you are giving all. And I tell you this because my love cannot be ignored. My love cannot be delayed. My love cannot be treated lightly. It is the force that created the universe, the fire that sustains life, the sacrifice that broke the curse, and that love demands a response, demands a choice, demands surrender. And this is why I cannot wait endlessly. For the urgency of this hour means the moment to answer has come. And if you walk away again, there will be no more waiting. There will be no more chances. There will be no more mercy left to extend, for the final call has been given. The last chance is before you, and you must decide now, because my heart cannot keep waiting while you wander. My love cannot keep holding out while you turn away. And I plead with you, child, surrender fully, surrender completely, surrender now, for tomorrow will be too late. The path stretching before you is radiant with promise, paved with the light of destiny I designed specifically for you. Yet understand this truth, that brightness will not remain if you turn aside at this critical hour, for light is not guaranteed to shine forever on a road that is rejected, and though I have illuminated the way ahead of you, hesitation and resistance will cause the very ground beneath your feet to grow dim, until what was once clear becomes shadowed and what was once open becomes closed. And I do not say this to frighten you, but to awaken you, because every step you take right now carries eternal weight. and your choice will determine whether you continue walking in radiance or whether you slip into the darkness of confusion and regret. And I cannot watch you drift into obscurity without warning you that the brightness you see now is dependent on your response. For if you yield, the light will increase, the way will expand, the direction will become undeniable. But if you resist, the glow will fade until you no longer see where to go, until the road disappears and you are left wandering blind. And I do not want blindness for you. I do not want you stumbling into snares. I do not want you lost in shadows, which is why I speak urgently. Your decision in this hour determines whether you step into more light or more darkness, and I am holding the torch before you, guiding your way. But I cannot force you to follow it, and if you choose to turn back, that flame will not burn for you forever. For the moment you abandon the path, the fire will dim, and the clarity you now sense will vanish, and then every step away will feel heavier, colder, emptier, and I cry out to prevent that outcome, because I created you to walk in brightness. I designed you for clarity. I destined you for hope, but all of that depends on you choosing rightly now. For the crossroad is here, and indecision is no longer harmless. For to hesitate at this hour is to drift toward shadow, to resist at this hour is to extinguish the light, and to walk away at this hour is to embrace night that never ends. And I cannot allow you to step into that without lifting my voice like thunder. So I call again. Choose the path of light. Choose the way of truth. Choose the direction that leads to life, because the brightness you see now is an invitation that will not wait for tomorrow. And if you let this moment pass, the very light that is guiding you will be gone, and no amount of searching will restore it once it fades. And though I am merciful, I am also just, and the hour of decision cannot be delayed forever. So look, child, the path is shining before you, but it will not remain if you turn away. So step forward now, while it glows, while it beckons, while the gates are still open, for if you turn back tonight, tomorrow the path will be darkened and no longer found. Do not mistake this call as though it were one of many that will keep returning, for what you are hearing now is not another ordinary invitation. It is the ultimate cry, the last appeal of heaven to your soul, and the reason it feels heavier than anything you have ever sensed is because eternity is leaning upon this moment, demanding your answer. And though I have spoken to you in seasons past, though I have whispered through circumstances, through people, through the quiet stirrings inside you, never has the call carried this finality, never has the urgency pressed so firmly, never has the weight of the decision been so absolute, for I am telling you clearly, this is not one more chance among many, this is the final chance among none, and you cannot assume that tomorrow will hold what tonight offers. Because once this cry ceases, there will be no replacement, no repetition, no second echo, for the door will have closed and the voice will no longer call. And I need you to feel the seriousness of this moment because eternity itself hangs in the balance. And if you shrug this away, if you dismiss it as though another opportunity will arrive, you are deceiving yourself, for the mercy that has stretched out to you has reached its final extension. And though my love is endless, my invitation is not. For love must be chosen, and I cannot allow you to trample what was purchased with blood, to disregard what was offered with sacrifice, and to reject what has been pursued with mercy. And so tonight I stand before you with the cry that will not come again, the call that will not repeat, the urgency that will not return, and I declare to you with all the passion of heaven, this is the final moment, the ultimate invitation, the last cry, and your response must be now, for waiting will close it. Delay will silence it, hesitation will destroy it, and once it is gone, no pleading, no striving, no tears will restore it, and I cannot soften this truth because to do so would betray the seriousness of what is at stake, and I love you too deeply to speak anything less than the full weight of reality. So understand, the urgency you feel pressing harder than your own breath is not simply conviction, it is the sound of the last call, the final trumpet, the closing knock. And if you refuse, the silence that follows will be permanent. But if you respond, the floodgates of life will pour into your soul and everything will change. And this is why I am calling you with a fire that will not wait, with a passion that cannot pause, with a cry that is the last cry you will hear. So take it, embrace it, respond to it, for there will never be another like it, and this is the moment that decides everything. The trumpet is already being lifted to the lips. and I need you to understand how close the sound is, how near the final blast that will seal the moment forever. For when that note is released, there will be no more turning, no more time to decide, no more space to reconsider, and I reveal this to you because heaven's clock is almost finished, and the announcement of the trumpet will mark the close of mercy and the beginning of judgment, and once it sounds, no hand will be able to open what has been shut, no voice will be able to reverse what has been decreed, no cry will be able to reopen what was ignored, and this is why my spirit presses so forcefully upon you now, because the trumpet is at the mouth, the air is being drawn, the note is prepared, and when it bursts forth, the line will be crossed into forever, and I cannot allow you to stand ignorant of this reality. For too many live as though there is always more time, as though the trumpet is only a distant threat, as though eternity will wait until they are ready. But the truth is the sound is nearer than breath, the blast is closer than heartbeat, and its release will come when many least expect it, in an hour when distractions still fill their minds, in a moment when excuses still occupy their lips, and I do not want you caught unprepared when that sound splits the sky. So I tell you with urgency that you must be ready before it comes, you must yield before it breaks forth. You must surrender before the note is heard, for the trumpet will not pause for your delay. It will not wait for your hesitation. It will not slow for your indecision. It will sound at the appointed second, and eternity will shift, and those who responded will rejoice while those who delayed will weep, and I cannot bear for you to be among those left in regret. So I cry out louder than the noise of the world to awaken you. The trumpet is rising, the blast is near, the moment is closing, and now is the only time you have. And though I have pleaded with you in the past, never has the urgency been so sharp, never has the cry been so final, because the trumpet's edge is upon you, and I speak plainly. When it sounds, everything will be sealed, every choice fixed, every destiny locked, and you will not be able to plead for another chance, you will not be able to bargain for another moment, you will not be able to rewind what is finished. And so I urge you with love that burns. Act now, surrender now, respond now, for the trumpet will not wait, and tomorrow will be too late. My mercy is right now like a vast floodgate swung wide open, waters of forgiveness, healing, and new life pouring freely toward you, rushing with unstoppable power. Yet I must tell you with urgency that this torrent cannot be held back forever. For though I have restrained the dam of judgment and allowed streams of grace to flow without measure, the time is coming swiftly when those gates will close, and once they do, the waters will stop, the flow will cease, and what is now available in abundance will no longer be found. And I need you to grasp the seriousness of this moment, for many have mistaken the constant flow of my mercy as though it were endless, believing that the flood would always be there, that forgiveness could be reached at any moment, that grace would remain waiting indefinitely. But they were deceived. For when the gate was shut, they found nothing but dry ground and silence where once there had been overflowing streams, and I do not want you to suffer that fate, which is why I speak with passion and fire tonight, urging you not to let this flood pass you by, because it is surging toward you now, rushing with the cleansing force that could wash away every stain, every failure, every regret, but it requires that you step into it while it still flows, for standing on the shore and watching is not enough. Delaying your step will not carry you in, and telling yourself you will enter later will not help. For later the waters will be gone, and the gate will be sealed, and nothing will remain but memory of what could have been yours, and I cannot stand silent while you risk losing what is before you. So I shout to you tonight, the flood is here, the waters are rising, the mercy is overflowing, but it will not continue forever, for the dam will close and judgment will fall, and if you have not entered by then, you will be left outside with no way in, and I cannot soften this warning, for it would be cruel to pretend you always have more time when in truth the window is closing, and so I call with authority. Step into the waters now. Let them cover you. Let them cleanse you. Let them renew you. For hesitation will leave you dry when the stream is gone, and regret will haunt you when the opportunity has passed. But if you yield now, the flood of my mercy will sweep away every chain, every weight, every fear, and carry you into freedom that nothing can steal, and I am offering it freely, without cost, without condition other than your yes. But your yes must be now, for the flood is already cresting, the gate is already trembling, and the moment to step in is almost over. So do not wait another heartbeat, for tomorrow the waters may be gone. You have asked again and again for signs, for confirmation that I am speaking, for proof that my hand is upon you, and I tell you with clarity and urgency that this very message is the final sign you will receive, the unmistakable evidence that heaven has bent low to meet you in this exact moment, for I have already answered through circumstances, through quiet whispers, through protection you did not earn, through doors I opened when none should have opened, yet still you doubted, still you wondered if it was truly me. And so now I bring before you a sign that cannot be denied. The weight of these words pressing into your spirit like fire, the undeniable stirring in your soul that refuses to be silenced, the holy urgency that grips you even now. And I tell you plainly, do not ask for another sign beyond this, for none will be given. This is the last. This is the confirmation you demanded. This is the proof that I have pursued you relentlessly and will not allow you to excuse yourself with claims of uncertainty. For my voice has thundered in your life more times than you realize, but tonight it comes with finality, saying, this is it, respond now, and if you continue to demand more after this, it will not come, for heaven does not play games with eternity, and I will not indulge endless requests for signs, when my blood has already been poured out as the ultimate proof, my cross already lifted as the eternal evidence, my resurrection already declared as the irrefutable sign. And now these words themselves are the last seal upon that testimony, and if you reject them, you reject not merely words but the hand of God stretched out to you, and I say this because I love you too much to let you remain deceived, thinking you can always delay while waiting for more proof. For delay will close the door and no further signs will follow, but if you yield now, this sign becomes your rescue, this sign becomes your turning point. This sign becomes the moment where heaven rejoices over your response, and child, I tell you with holy fire, you cannot claim ignorance after tonight. You cannot claim you did not know. You cannot claim you did not hear. For this sign is written upon your heart, burning in your chest, echoing in your mind, and it will not let you rest until you respond. But the danger is this: if you ignore it, if you dismiss it, the silence that follows will be permanent, and you will remember this night forever with regret. But if you embrace it, if you answer it, this moment will mark the beginning of a new life, a new destiny, a new eternity, and all of heaven will celebrate your decision. So hear me now, beloved. You asked for a sign, and I have given it, and it is the last one you will ever receive before the door shuts. So do not ignore it. Do not postpone. Do not turn away, for the sign you begged for is here, and tomorrow will be too late. Right now the angels surrounding you are pressing you toward obedience, for they see the closeness of eternity far clearer than you can. They know the hourglass of mercy is nearly empty. They understand how quickly the door is about to shut, and their urgency reflects the urgency of heaven itself. For while you hesitate, they are already leaning forward, waiting for your yes, longing for your surrender, because they have watched how many souls delayed until their chance was gone, and they cannot bear to see you repeat the same mistake. And so they are stirring the atmosphere around you even now, intensifying the conviction you feel, increasing the weight in your spirit, amplifying the call so you will not brush it aside, for they are ministers of my will, flames of fire sent to push you closer to truth. And at this very moment they are contending for your decision, because they know once the final second passes, nothing more can be done, no intervention will remain. And though you cannot see them, they are here, bending close, urging you not to waste what may never come again, and you may sense that invisible pressure, that holy heaviness in the room, and that is them working with my spirit to awaken you before it is too late, for they have witnessed the glory prepared for those who surrender, and they have also witnessed the torment that fell upon those who rejected, and they are desperate for you not to fall into the latter, desperate for you not to throw away eternity for the fleeting comfort of delay, desperate for you to embrace what I have been offering. And I tell you plainly, the reason you feel such intensity right now is because all of heaven is leaning in, the cloud of witnesses is watching, the angels are urging, the Spirit is pleading, I myself am calling, and the only thing left is your response, for heaven cannot decide for you. The angels cannot speak yes on your behalf. Even I will not force you to choose me, but I will send everything possible to push you to the edge of decision, And that is what you are experiencing now, the combined cry of eternity pressing against your hesitation. And you must decide before the pressure lifts, because once it does, silence will remain. And the angels who now rejoice at the thought of your surrender will instead mourn as they record your refusal. And I do not want that to be your story, for their longing is to celebrate, to announce your name in heaven's courts, to cry out with joy that another has been saved from destruction. And they are ready to rejoice in this very moment if you will yield. But if you continue to resist, their joy will turn to sorrow, their expectation to grief. For they will know the chance has been wasted, and eternity has been sealed in loss. And I cannot allow you to go without telling you. The angels are not pressing you for nothing. They know the weight of what is before you. They know the line is about to be crossed, and they are urging you as forcefully as they can through my spirit to choose rightly now, because tomorrow will be too late. Do not mistake the patience I have shown you for indifference. For every moment I withheld judgment. Every season I extended mercy. Every time I allowed you space to wrestle was not because I did not care, but because my love was holding back what justice demanded. Yet now the patience that once shielded you has reached its end, and I speak with fire because the hour of delay has run out. And I will not let you think that my silence meant approval, nor that my waiting meant weakness. For I am the Lord of all creation, and I could have ended your opportunity long ago, yet I restrained myself for your sake, that you might hear this call and respond. But now I tell you with trembling urgency, I have waited long enough, and this is why the tone you hear tonight is sharper than ever, why the weight pressing on your spirit is heavier than before, because I am no longer speaking in soft suggestion. I am crying with urgency that cannot be ignored, and if you still resist, then the patience that covered you will turn to the justice that cannot be delayed, for the time of mercy offered without end is gone, and the window that remains is the last. And I must warn you that to treat this fire as optional is to despise the very love that has carried you until now, for love has limits in time though it is eternal in nature, and mercy has a boundary though it is endless in supply. And when that boundary is crossed, the endless supply is no longer available to you. And I do not want you to discover that truth by walking into silence. So I reveal it to you now with flames of warning, because the urgency of this moment demands clarity. And I will not allow you to mistake waiting for apathy again. I will not allow you to assume that delay is still possible. I will not allow you to wander thinking that I will continue forever to hold back judgment. For I have held back long enough. And now I speak with burning intensity so that your heart shakes and your soul trembles, because only such fire can break through the lies that tell you there will always be more time. And I assure you with all authority, there is no more time. The patience has run its course. The mercy has reached its boundary. And tonight you must respond or forever lose the chance. And this is why my words pierce more deeply than before, because they carry the weight of finality. They carry the flame of judgment held back for the last time. They carry the urgency of a God who has waited as long as he could, and now says with holy fire, enough. Decide now, for the moment cannot be stretched any longer, and tomorrow will not bring another chance. The clock of eternity is striking even now, each toll resounding through the unseen realm, and with every beat another fragment of mercy passes, bringing you closer to the final moment when the hands will meet at their appointed place, and when that strike is complete, no pleading, no argument, no desperate cry will reopen what has been closed, for time itself will have finished its testimony against you, and opportunity will be locked away forever. And I speak with urgency so that you feel the weight of this ticking in your spirit. For you may not hear it with your ears, but your soul feels the vibration of each strike, a trembling within that tells you the end of the countdown is near, and I cannot allow you to ignore it, because so many before you thought the clock would run endlessly, that they had more minutes, more hours, more chances. But when the final strike came, they were stunned by the permanence of it, stunned by the silence that followed, stunned by the reality that eternity had begun and no reversal was possible. And I do not want that shock to be yours, which is why I am telling you now, while the clock is still moving, while the final strike has not yet landed, that this is your warning, your last opportunity to act before the chime of forever resounds. And I will not soften this truth, because to soften it would leave you unprepared, and I love you too much to let you be caught unaware. So I declare to you, the clock is almost done, the hands are nearly touching, and when they do, the mercy you now feel will be replaced by silence that cannot be broken. And I urge you to consider how brief a moment truly is, how quickly seconds slip into history, how fragile life is when balanced on the edge of eternity, and how dangerous it is to gamble with time when you do not control a single breath of it. For the very breath in your lungs right now is evidence of my mercy extended, yet that mercy is tied to the ticking clock, and once it strikes its final note, breath will no longer buy you opportunity, tears will no longer purchase you mercy, cries will no longer open closed gates, and I cannot let you continue in false assurance as though time bends for your convenience, because it does not. And I am telling you with holy fire, the countdown is almost finished, the striking is nearly complete, and once the sound ceases there will be no return. And this is why my words press upon you more forcefully than ever before, because the closing strike is not far off, and when it lands you will stand on one side of eternity or the other, and I long for you to stand in light. But the choice rests in your hands tonight, and you must act before the clock completes its final toll, because tomorrow will already be too late. I am closer to you right now than the very breath filling your lungs, nearer than the beat of your heart, nearer than your own thoughts. Yet even in this closeness I will not violate your freedom, for love does not force itself, and though my presence surrounds you, though my hand hovers ready to lift you, though my spirit presses heavily upon you, I will not chain your will, I will not drag you unwillingly, for I desire your choice, your surrender, your yes given freely. And this is the danger, that even while I am closer than your breath, you can still push me away, you can still turn aside, you can still harden yourself, and if you do, the intimacy you now sense will depart, the nearness you feel will fade, and the silence that follows will leave you emptier than you have ever been. And I do not want that for you, which is why I draw it even nearer now, stirring you so powerfully that you cannot ignore it, breaking through your thoughts so thoroughly that you cannot dismiss it, because I want you to recognize that this closeness is not ordinary. It is not guaranteed to remain. It is a holy moment where eternity leans upon you, and I am pleading for your answer while I am this near, for if you walk away now, you may never feel me this close again, and that is why I cannot allow you to mistake this nearness for permanence, because it is not. It is mercy. It is invitation. It is a final gift being handed to you, and if you refuse it, it will be taken back, and I will not force myself where I am rejected. I will not invade a heart that will not open. I will not remain where I am unwelcome, for love never coerces. It waits for a response, and this is the very moment when your response matters more than anything else, because while I am closer than breath, I will withdraw if you push me away. I will step back if you harden yourself. I will cease knocking if you bolt the door, and then all that will remain is silence, and the silence will torment you, because you will remember what it felt like to have me near, yet you will no longer find it, and that memory will burn with regret, and I do not want that to be your future. So I speak urgently, pressing upon you while I am this near, saying to you, open now, yield now, answer now, for my nearness is the greatest mercy you will ever know, but it is also the greatest danger if you waste it, because nothing is more tragic than feeling me this close and still refusing, and so I stretch out to you once again, closer than you can imagine, calling you without forcing, urging you without binding, pleading with you without dragging, for I desire your love, not your compulsion, your surrender, not your resistance, and I tell you plainly, this is the moment to answer while I am near, because once I withdraw, tomorrow will be too late. The choice you stand before tonight is not small. It is not a matter of days or months. It is not something that touches only the surface of your life. For the decision you make in this hour will shape not just your coming seasons but the entirety of your eternity. And I cannot stress this enough. The weight of forever hangs in the balance of your response, and every breath you take right now echoes into a destiny that stretches without end. And this is why the urgency presses heavier upon you than anything else you have ever faced, because the outcome of this choice will not fade with time. It will not be undone with another opportunity. It will not be softened by another chance, for this moment is final in its consequence, and though you may think you can revisit it later, you cannot, for later does not belong to you. Only now does, and this is why I cry out louder than the noise of your thoughts, saying, realize what hangs upon your answer tonight. Realize that heaven and hell both are watching, that angels and demons alike lean toward your decision, that your soul's eternal dwelling will be determined not by wishes or feelings but by the choice you make right now. And you must see that this is why you feel such trembling in your spirit, because eternity itself presses upon you, and the line between glory and ruin rests in your hands this very hour. And I cannot let you dismiss it as though it were casual. I cannot let you pretend it is something you can ignore. I cannot let you believe the lie that it is a small matter, for it is the greatest decision you will ever make, greater than any relationship, greater than any ambition, greater than any possession, greater than any dream, for all those things fade. But this decision will outlast the earth itself, and I call you with holy fire to understand that the yes or no you give tonight will echo into unending ages, and you will live forever in the consequence of it, whether in joy beyond comprehension or in despair beyond measure. And I tell you the truth because I love you too deeply to let you continue unknowing, because to ignore this is to gamble with forever. And no gamble is more dangerous, for you do not have the luxury of endless chances. You do not hold tomorrow in your grasp. You do not control the span of your life. But you do hold this moment. You do hold this chance. You do hold the power to decide now, and what you choose tonight will set the course not only of your life, but of your eternity. And I urge you with all the urgency of heaven, do not waste this chance. Do not throw away forever for the illusion of safety and delay. Do not sacrifice what lasts for what fades, but choose rightly. Choose now. Choose life, because once this moment passes, tomorrow will be too late. Lay down every excuse you have been holding on to, for none of them can shield you when eternity demands an answer, and I tell you with urgency that no reason, no justification, no explanation is worth the price of forfeiting the life I purchased for you with my own blood, for excuses may comfort you in the present, but they will betray you in the end, leaving you empty when it matters most, and I see how you cling to them. The thought that you are too broken, too unworthy, too entangled in your struggles, or that you can somehow fix yourself before surrendering. Yet all of these are lies meant to delay you, and I am here tonight to strip them away with the light of truth, because nothing you fear, nothing you hide, nothing you claim as a reason to delay compares to the loss of missing what I am offering. For I died not so you could make excuses, but so you could be free, and the freedom I bring does not wait for you to become worthy. It meets you in your unworthiness and transforms you. But only if you will release the excuses that keep you back, and I say with holy fire, drop them now, because they will not serve you. They will not protect you. They will not follow you into eternity, and if you cling to them, they will drag you down, and I cannot let you walk into destruction thinking your excuses will stand before me, for they will crumble like dust in my presence, and all that will remain is whether you chose to yield or not. And so I plead with you, nothing you think you gain by holding back is worth the loss of life eternal. No pleasure is worth the pain of regret. No possession is worth the emptiness of separation. No ambition is worth the ruin of your soul. And if you could see clearly, you would know that every excuse is a chain around your neck pulling you from what I am offering, and tonight I break the power of those chains if you will let go. But you must decide, for I will not tear them from you if you refuse. I will not force freedom on a heart that clings to bondage, but I call you to throw off every excuse and step into the life I gave myself to provide, for I endured the cross, I bore the weight of sin. I faced the agony of rejection so that you could live free, and to turn away with excuses is to trample the price paid, and I cannot allow you to walk unaware of how serious this is, for excuses will not save you, excuses will not protect you, excuses will not give you peace. Only surrender will, and the door is still open now but closing quickly. So I tell you again, drop the excuses, drop the delay, drop the false reasoning, because nothing is worth losing the life I laid down to give you, and tomorrow will already be too late. Do not let shame hold you in its grip, for though it whispers that you are too stained, too far gone, too broken to be received, I tell you the truth, forgiveness is already waiting, fully prepared, fully available, but only if you accept it without delay, for hesitation allows shame to tighten its hold until you are paralyzed, and I do not want you bound when freedom has already been purchased, and I know the weight you feel from your past, the mistakes that replay in your thoughts like accusations, the failures that make you believe you are disqualified, yet I assure you, none of these are stronger than my blood. None of these can outweigh the sacrifice that has already covered them. None of these have the authority to keep you from me unless you let them. And I cry with urgency because shame is a cruel master. It convinces you to hide when you should run toward me. It convinces you to wait when you should come boldly. It convinces you that tomorrow will be safer, but tomorrow is the very lie that steals from you. And I am breaking that lie now by declaring that forgiveness is here, now, immediate, complete, but only for the one who reaches out and receives it, not for the one who delays, not for the one who hides behind guilt, not for the one who listens to shame more than to truth. And so I say to you, do not hesitate another heartbeat, for the pardon you long for, the cleansing you need, the peace you crave, are all in my hands stretched toward you. But they will not be poured into a heart that refuses to open, and every moment you delay is another moment shame deepens its roots, and if you wait too long, it will choke out your ability to respond at all. And I cannot bear to see that happen, which is why my words burn so intensely tonight, because I know how shame works, how it convinces you that later will be easier, but later will not come, and the weight you carry will crush you when the chance has vanished. But if you answer now, that same weight will dissolve instantly, the chains will shatter, the guilt will lift, and you will walk in freedom as though the stains never existed, for that is the power of the forgiveness I purchased for you, complete and irreversible, but it is only yours if you seize it without hesitation, and I warn you lovingly but firmly. Hesitation is refusal, and refusal leaves you condemned under the very weight I died to remove, and I did not endure the cross for you to carry shame another day. I endured it so you could walk free right now. So I say again with fire, do not allow shame to keep you back. Do not postpone what is already offered. Do not think you must clean yourself before coming, for I alone cleanse. I alone restore. I alone forgive. But you must receive it now, because tomorrow the chance will be gone. Do not lean on the fragile hope that another sunrise will meet you, for tomorrow's light is not promised, and to wait for it is to gamble your eternity on a moment that may never arrive. And I warn you with urgency that postponing until morning will prove fatal to your destiny, for many before you planned to choose later. But their breath left them in the night, and their chance was swallowed by silence, and I cannot bear to see you fall into that same deception, thinking you have more time when time is not yours to control, for your days are not guaranteed, your hours are not in your hand. Your very heartbeat is sustained by my mercy, and if I were to withdraw it, you would stand in eternity immediately, with no chance to return, no chance to decide, no chance to plead. And this is why I call you now, while you still breathe, while you still hear my voice, while you still feel conviction pressing in, because this is the only safe time, the only sure moment, the only guaranteed chance you will ever have. And I tell you this truth in love, though it burns like fire. Waiting for tomorrow is the most dangerous lie the enemy has whispered, because tomorrow is the rope he uses to drag souls into eternal loss. Tomorrow is the illusion that blinds hearts until it is too late. Tomorrow is the thief that robs men of their final opportunity, and you must not let it rob you, for tonight you stand at the door of decision, and tonight is all you are given. And if you choose to push it away until dawn, you may never see that dawn, and the weight of regret will crush you forever. And I cannot let you go without telling you, act now, for delay is destruction, hesitation is ruin, postponement is death, and yet in this moment, mercy still reaches for you, forgiveness still stretches toward you, life still offers itself to you, but only if you seize it before this night ends, and do not say within yourself, I will wait until I feel ready, for readiness is a lie. Surrender is what makes you ready, obedience is what prepares you. Decision is what opens the door, and that decision must be made now, not later, not when circumstances are easier, not when emotions feel stronger, but now while my spirit calls you, now while the door is open, now while eternity holds its breath for your answer, and I plead with you with the urgency of heaven. Do not count on tomorrow, do not rely on another dawn, do not risk your eternity on a sunrise you may never see, for this is your hour. And if you let it pass, nothing will restore it, nothing will repeat it, nothing will undo the loss. So hear me, child. Act now, for tomorrow will be too late. Every chain that has held you bound, every invisible weight that has dragged you down, Every unseen shackle that has wrapped itself around your soul can be shattered in a single instant, but only if you choose to step into the freedom I am offering now, for the power to break them is already present. My authority has already crushed their strength, yet I will not impose it against your will, and if you delay, those same chains will tighten until escape becomes impossible, because bondage does not remain neutral. It grows heavier with every moment of hesitation, and I see how long you have carried them. Chains of fear that whisper you cannot change, chains of guilt that replay every failure, chains of addiction that promise relief but deliver emptiness, chains of despair that convince you you are beyond help. And I tell you plainly, all of them are liars, and none of them can withstand the power of my word spoken into your surrender. But the key is your decision, for I will not snap what you refuse to release. I will not destroy what you cling to. I will not free what you will not yield. And that is why I speak with such intensity, because you do not realize how close you are to being crushed by the very things you think you can manage. For they will not stay as they are. They will grow, they will strangle, they will suffocate. And I cry out to you tonight to step into the freedom that only I can give, because if you respond, the chains will fall instantly. Their power will dissolve, their grip will be broken, and you will walk in liberty that nothing on this earth could provide. But if you turn away, the chains you feel now will harden like iron. The weight you carry will become unbearable, and you will discover too late that the chance to be free was lost when you hesitated. And I do not want that for you, which is why I am pressing into you so forcefully, stirring your spirit so deeply. Because freedom is closer than your breath, victory is nearer than your next step, deliverance is already waiting, but you must say yes. You must decide without delay. You must allow me to break what you cannot. And if you do, you will rise from this moment lighter than you have ever felt, new in ways you cannot imagine, whole in ways you never thought possible. But if you resist, if you wait for tomorrow, the chance for release will vanish with the moment, and the chains will remain, heavier than before, and the regret of missing this chance will echo louder than their weight. So I plead with you, child, do not carry them another heartbeat. Do not let them tighten further. Do not let them define your eternity. For I am here now to break them, and I will do it instantly if you decide. But the decision must be now, for tomorrow will already be too late. All of heaven is leaning down in this very moment, watching intently for your response, for the choice you make now is not hidden in secrecy, but witnessed by eternity itself, and the weight of your decision is greater than you realize, because every angel, every unseen servant of light, every heavenly gaze is fixed upon you, knowing that what you choose tonight will determine your eternal destiny. And I tell you with truth that nothing in your life has ever carried such gravity, for this is not about a fleeting desire, not about a temporary path, not about circumstances that shift with time. This is about forever, and your answer will echo into unending ages, and heaven waits with expectation, longing for your yes, ready to erupt in joy if you surrender. For there is a celebration prepared that will ignite the moment you yield, and I want you to feel that weight, to know that this is not a private matter of your own choosing alone, for eternity is never private. Eternity is always witnessed, and the record of your decision will stand forever, written in the annals of heaven or marked in the silence of rejection. And you must understand that all of creation leans toward this hour, holding its breath, waiting to see whether you will embrace the life offered or turn away into loss. And I do not speak this to crush you, but to awaken you, to show you that the moment before you is holy, sacred, filled with a significance beyond anything you have ever encountered. And the very fact that you feel this weight pressing on your soul is proof that heaven itself is pressing, that angels themselves are urging, that eternity itself is bending near. And child, I tell you with fire in my words, your whole future, not just your days on earth, but your endless existence beyond them, hangs in the balance of this decision, and I cannot make it for you. The angels cannot make it for you. Even the Father will not override your choice, for love demands freedom, and freedom demands response. And this is why the silence of heaven is so heavy right now, because all are waiting for you. All are listening for your answer, and you cannot pretend it does not matter. You cannot act as though it will be unnoticed. You cannot escape the eyes of eternity that are upon you in this hour. And if you respond, if you yield, the rejoicing will shake the heavens. Your name will be proclaimed, your destiny will be sealed in glory, and you will never again doubt your worth or your place. But if you refuse, the silence that follows will be unbearable, for heaven will record your rejection, and eternity will echo with what could have been, and I do not want that for you, which is why I speak so urgently, so directly, because heaven's gaze is upon you, eternity's record is being written, and your response is everything, and I call you now to act, for tomorrow will be too late. If you take this step toward me, you will not stand alone, for my strength is already stretched out to uphold you, to steady you where you feel weak, to carry you where you feel unable, and I say this with urgency because I know one of the reasons you hesitate is the fear of falling, the fear of not being strong enough to remain. But I assure you with truth, your ability to endure does not depend on your own strength. It rests on mine, and I will never fail you, for I am not calling you into a life sustained by your own willpower but into one upheld by my unshakable hand. And the reason I speak this now is because the enemy has whispered into your heart that you cannot make it, that you will stumble again, that you will fall back into old patterns, that you are too weak to finish what you begin. But I break that lie with fire tonight, for I am your sustainer, I am your shield, I am your fortress, and when you step into surrender, you step into my strength, and my strength will never run dry, never weaken, never abandon you, and this is why your yes tonight is safe, because you are not relying on yourself anymore. You are leaning on the everlasting arms that cannot be broken, and if you could see what I see, you would know that even now my angels stand ready to walk beside you. My spirit is ready to fill you. My power is ready to anchor you, and nothing in hell or on earth will be able to pull you from my hand once you have chosen me. And yet I will not force this upon you. I will not impose my strength where you will not surrender, for it is released only when you yield, and that is why this decision is so urgent, because you are not being asked to hold yourself up. You are being invited to rest in the one who holds the universe together. And child, I long for you to stop fighting in your own power, to stop believing the lie that you must be perfect before you come, to stop fearing that you cannot make it, for I am the one who makes it possible. And I say to you with authority, if you step now, my strength will wrap around you like a fortress, and you will never be alone again. But if you walk away, you will continue trying to carry what you cannot, and it will crush you, for no human can bear the weight of eternity without me, and I cannot stand silent while you struggle under a burden I already bore, which is why my words burn with urgency tonight, urging you to place your weakness in my hands, for I will cover you, I will empower you, I will sustain you, and your fear of falling will be silenced, because you will discover that I am holding you, and I will not let you go. But this is only yours if you decide now, because tomorrow will be too late. There are countless souls who stood at the very edge of surrender, who felt the same pull you feel now, who sensed the same fire urging them to act. Yet they turned away at the last moment, convincing themselves they had more time, and now their cries rise from eternity with no remedy, their voices filled with regret that cannot be reversed, their tears unending because they squandered the chance that was placed before them. And I cannot allow you to follow that same path without warning you, for their stories were not written to be repeated in you. They are warnings so that you would awaken while there is still breath in your lungs, and I am pleading with you because I see the weight of their loss. I hear the sound of their laments, and I know the agony of realizing too late that the door was shut. And I tell you this not to frighten you, but to show you the seriousness of this hour. For you are standing where they once stood. You are feeling what they once felt. You are hearing the same call they once heard, and your response will determine whether you join them in regret or whether you escape into life. And I assure you with holy fire, I do not want you to be among those voices crying without answer. I do not want you to share their fate. I do not want you to walk the road of delay that leads only to sorrow, which is why I speak to you so directly now, because love will not let you perish in silence. Love will not let you fall into the same trap without one final cry to awaken you. Love will not let you join the chorus of regret if you are willing to respond. And child, I urge you to see how thin the line is between salvation and loss, how close you stand to either glory or ruin. And I plead with you to step into life while it is still before you, because once the moment passes, there will be no turning back, no second invitation, no further opportunity. And if you ignore this, you will discover too late that the regret of those who turned away has become your own. And I cannot let that be, which is why I cry out louder, pressing harder, declaring more urgently. For this is your chance to break free from the fate that countless others chose. This is your moment to escape the endless lament that fills eternity. This is your hour to step into light instead of darkness, and I am holding it before you, offering it freely, urging you to take it. But you must decide now, for hesitation will push you into the same ruin. And I tell you plainly, do not join their cries. Do not repeat their mistake. Do not allow regret to be your eternal psalm, for I am here to rescue you from that end. But the decision must be made tonight, because tomorrow will be too late. This is why my voice thunders within you like fire, breaking through every barrier, piercing every wall, because love will not allow you to perish silently. Love will not let you drift unnoticed into ruin. Love refuses to watch you fall without lifting a cry that shakes your very soul. And though this urgency may feel overwhelming, it is mercy clothed in flame, for without it you would continue in slumber until it was too late. And I cannot permit that. So my words come with force, with weight, with intensity you cannot ignore, because gentleness has been offered again and again. Whispers have reached you before. But now is the hour where whispers are no longer enough. Now is the hour where thunder is needed, where fire is required, where the full force of heaven presses upon you, because your eternity is on the line. And I would rather you feel shaken tonight than lost forever tomorrow. I would rather you tremble under the sound of my voice than sink silently into separation. I would rather you be pierced by urgency now than pierced by regret without end later. And so I will not soften this call. I will not reduce its weight. I will not quiet its fire, for it is love that roars, love that burns, love that refuses to stand still while you edge toward destruction. And child, you must understand this urgency is not anger. It is not condemnation. It is not rejection. It is rescue. It is the hand of eternity breaking through your darkness. It is the shout of a Savior refusing to watch you die without intervention. And though it feels intense, it is born from compassion deeper than you can imagine. For I have carried every wound, endured every pain, suffered every blow so that you could live. And now I will not let that sacrifice be dismissed in silence. So I call you with a voice that cannot be ignored, a cry that echoes louder than your fears, a fire that burns stronger than your excuses. And I tell you plainly, respond while the fire still burns, for if you resist, the fire will not continue forever. It will be withdrawn, and the silence that follows will be unbearable. But if you answer now, that same fire will become life in you, light in you, hope in you, and you will never again doubt the depth of my love. And I assure you that though my words thunder tonight, they thunder only because love demands it, because mercy requires it, because eternity depends on it, and I cannot allow you to perish without lifting this cry. So hear me with all your heart. Love itself is thundering in you right now, and it is the last thunder you will hear before silence falls. So yield while the fire is still burning, for tomorrow will be too late. You may feel unworthy to answer, convinced that your flaws disqualify you, that your failures outweigh my invitation, but I tell you the truth with burning urgency. I am not asking you for perfection. I am not demanding flawless strength. I am not waiting for you to fix yourself before you come. I am only asking for your surrendered heart right now, for it is not your merit that opens the door. It is my mercy. It is not your righteousness that saves you. It is my sacrifice, and if you continue to wait until you feel clean enough, strong enough, worthy enough, you will never step forward, because no one is ever worthy on their own. And that is why I came, that is why I endured the cross, that is why I bore the weight of sin, so that you could come as you are and let my love make you whole. And I say this with urgency because hesitation rooted in feelings of unworthiness is still rejection, and rejection seals your eternity. And I cannot watch you hide behind shame when I have already paid the price to remove it. And so I declare to you now, your stains do not disqualify you. Your weakness does not exclude you. Your past does not define you. Your failures do not determine your eternity unless you cling to them. And if you surrender them into my hands, they will vanish under the blood I shed for you, washed completely, remembered no more. But this only becomes true if you yield now, not later, not when you think you are ready, because readiness will never come. Only decision, only surrender, only trust, and I call you tonight with urgency. Do not let the lie of unworthiness rob you of what I died to give. Do not let the illusion that you must be perfect keep you from the perfection of my grace. Do not let the weight of guilt keep you bound outside the open door, for the door is open now, and I am calling you in, not because you deserve it, but because I love you, not because you earned it, but because I paid for it, not because you are perfect, but because I am, and I gave myself for you so that your unworthiness could be covered forever. And if you respond, your weakness will become strength, your emptiness will become fullness, your brokenness will become beauty, your fear will become peace. But if you delay, you will remain bound in the lie that you must fix yourself first, and that lie will cost you eternity. And I cannot allow you to remain in it without thundering into your soul tonight, saying, stop hiding behind the excuse of imperfection. Stop waiting for a day when you feel worthy. Stop believing you must earn what is freely given. For I am not asking for your perfection. I am asking for your heart, and I am asking for it now, because tomorrow will be too late. I have carried you through storms when you did not even realize my hand was shielding you. I have preserved you in nights when despair should have overtaken you. I have lifted you when the weight of life pressed to crush you. And every moment of protection was not random chance but my deliberate covering, keeping you alive for this very hour. And now I am asking you to finally release control, to stop holding fragments of your life as though you know best, to stop giving me pieces while clinging to the rest, and to let me be Lord over all, not just in words, not just in thought, but in truth, in surrender, in obedience, for partial yielding is still resistance, and I cannot reign where I am not given everything, and I speak this with urgency because I know you have allowed me to touch certain areas while guarding others, inviting my presence in what feels safe, but keeping hidden the places you fear to release. And tonight I am telling you that true freedom, true peace, true life only comes when you let go of all, for I have proven myself faithful through every storm, and I will continue to be faithful if you trust me with everything. But you must stop holding back. You must stop treating me as helper only when convenient, and allow me to rule as king over your heart, over your choices, over your destiny. And child, I say this not to burden you but to free you, for carrying control has weighed you down more than you admit, and surrender will lift what striving has never solved it. And tonight the urgency is not just about avoiding judgment. It is about stepping into the fullness of life you were created for. But that fullness cannot be given to a divided heart. It can only flow into the one who yields without condition. And I am calling you to that place now, because the time of half measures is over. The time of wandering between two opinions has ended. The time of delay has reached its limit. And you must decide if you will let me be Lord of all or not at all. For tomorrow the door will be closed. Tomorrow the storm will break. Tomorrow the chance will be gone. And I cannot say this more plainly. This is the moment of final surrender, the hour of ultimate decision, the dividing line between life and loss. And I urge you with the fire of heaven. Yield everything, trust fully, let go completely, and I will reign in your life with peace that cannot be shaken, with strength that cannot be broken, with love that cannot be removed. And you will know that every storm I carried you through was leading you to this choice, this very night, this final call, and I will not extend another after this. So hear me, beloved. The decision is now, the surrender is now, the choice is now. Open your heart fully, release your grip entirely, step into my arms completely, for I am ready to seal you, to cover you, to keep you. But I require all, and I require it now, for tomorrow will be too late. Amen.